Aloha. My name is Nancy Williams, and I'm a realtor broker on the island of Kauai. I have created this vacation rental webinar to help you understand everything there is to know about buying a vacation rental on Kauai and what you need to know to help make your vacation rental ownership dream come true. Before we dive in, I wanted to say that this webinar talks only about vacation rentals on Kauai because every island has their own rules and regulations and zones for vacation rentals. I also want to share that I am not an attorney, CPA, financial planner, contractor. I'm not providing any legal, financial, planning, or other advice. I am a real estate professional that specializes in helping buyers from the mainland and other places buy a second home, or vacation rental on the island of Kauai. And this webinar is strictly for general background information. So what you need to know, we're going to talk about where you can legally rent a condo or home as a vacation rental on Kauai. And what are those acronyms, TVR, VDA, fee simple, FS, LH, leasehold, why condo fees are so high, what are our GET and TAT taxes, information on financing and down payments, vacation rental management options, and what that cash flow revenue might look like. So why a vacation rental, and what about those occupancy rates? Well, Hawaii is one of the top destination vacations in the world. In 2024, nearly 10 million visitors traveled to the Aloha State, and Kauai welcomed almost 1.4 million of them. Hotel rooms on Kauai are expensive, and visitors are increasingly seeking alternatives on things that provide more space and greater flexibility. On Kauai, year-to-date in 2025, June, the average daily hotel room for just a room was $416.87. By comparison, the average daily rate for an average one-bedroom vacation rental typically ranged from about $330 to $380 per night, depending on location, amenities, and seasons. That's for a one-bedroom vacation rental. Usually has a kitchen and a lot more flexibility. Vacation rental condos also often offer options for 2, 3, or even 4 bedrooms, which makes them ideal for families, groups, and longer stay travelers looking for more space and home-like amenities. So having a vacation rental here, you not only provide travelers with more affordable and flexing lodging options, but they give you as an owner an opportunity to generate revenue that will help offset the cost of owning that home or condo here on Kauai. Occupancy rates vary, but a well-managed and promoted rental can see anywhere from 60 to 90% occupancy. People often ask me if ocean views are critical, and yeah, they're great, and they might bring some top dollar. However, even condos and homes without those ocean views, if they have updated interiors, key amenities, and beautiful outdoor spaces and lanais, those are important and also contribute to the earning potential of vacation rentals here. Amazing photos of your rental and positive reviews are a must. VDA, what is that? VDA stands for Visitor Designated Area. And on Kauai, there are 3 visitor destination areas. These VDAs are in Princeville on the North Shore, the Coconut Coast of Kapa'a, which is along the shoreline in Kapa'a, and down in Poipu. TVR stands for Transient Vacation Rental. So those 3 VDAs, Poipu, Princeville, and the Coconut Coast of Kapa'a, any condo or home in those VDA areas can be legally vacation rented. But the law expressly prohibits transient vacation rental outside of these 3 VDAs. So you might see a few TVRs operating legally outside of the VDA, such as down in Honolulu or at Anini. But these homes or condos have a non-conforming use certificate that allow them to operate as a vacation rental outside of VDA. These homes were grandfathered in when our vacation rental zoning was restricted. So properties with these TVR non-conforming use certificates, they must renew their certificates annually. And if they fail to renew the certificate in time, that certificate is lost forever. If you buy a property with that non-conforming use certificate, it does transfer with the property, but it must still be renewed annually. Properties that don't have a TVR or not in the VDA cannot legally operate as a vacation income property. And the county has really cracked down on that, and the fines are very high. New TVR and vacation rental permits outside of the VDA are not possible. Fee simple versus leasehold in Hawaii. This is a question I get asked a lot. So if you see a property for sale with a too good to be true price, check the land tenure, and it's probably a leasehold. So fee simple is what most people are used to, where you buy the property and you acquire ownership of the entire property, including both the land and the building. You then have the right to possess, use, and dispose of the land in the building as you wish. The leasehold, however, that is basically you're buying a long-term lease of the building on the property. And you enter into an agreement or contract called a ground lease. And you are buying the leasehold rights to the building, but you do not own the land, and you must pay ground rent. And then your use of the land is limited to the remaining years covered by the lease. And at the end of the lease, that land and generally the building reverts back to the lessor. So depending on the provisions of the surrender clause in the lease, pretty much you give everything back. So at that end of the lease term, you have nothing. Also, the property or the lease is generally considered what's called a depreciating asset, because as the lease term diminishes and there are fewer years left on the lease, the value, the resale value of that lease also decreases in value. When you're looking at properties for sale, check the land tenure in the listing and see if it says fee simple or leasehold. Condo HOAs on Kauai, like everywhere now, are very expensive. Condo HOA fees on Kauai typically start around $1,200 a month, and they increase from there depending on the complex and the age of the complex. At first glance, that might feel high, but when you look at what these fees actually cover, they are often quite reasonable. Hawaii's climate is uniquely demanding. The jungle grows here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So landscaping alone is a huge expense for condo associations. Also, the constant sun, salt air, wind, and tropical storms take a real toll on buildings, so exterior maintenance is also a huge ongoing expense. In recent years, on Kauai, like everywhere, insurance premiums for condo associations, especially for hurricane and rebuild coverage, has risen dramatically. So this has also contributed to higher HOA fees. It's important to remember, though, or point out that if you own a single-family home, you'll be paying for many of these same expenses out of pocket. So if you line item these items like landscaping, exterior maintenance, roofing, pest control, repairs, and insurance, you might find that you are going to be paying similar out of pocket. And remember that with an HOA, all of those costs are bundled into a predictable monthly fee. So the bottom line is, whether a home or condo, focus on the value that you receive for those dues, or if it's a home, what you'll have to pay. Understanding exactly what the HOA covers is essential for your budgeting purpose. And every complex is different, so always review the specifics for the property you're considering. But HOA fees often include landscaping, the pool and fitness room if they have it, and its upkeep, pest control, exterior building and parking maintenance, exterior building insurance, mandatory savings for reserves, community room if any, garbage waste disposal, and some but not all complexes even include your water and potentially your cable and internet. GET and TAT, these are taxes. GET stands for General Excise Tax, and it's a tax that's imposed on business activity by the state of Hawaii. And if you're operating a vacation rental, that is considered a business. So you will be taxed, and you need to be filing the necessary forms and paying the GET that's collected on your vacation rental. This tax is computed from the total gross income of your vacation rental and not off the profits. You can add in that GET tax as a line item on the cost of the vacation rental and have it covered by the renter. GET in 2025 currently sits at 4.5%, which includes a Kauai County surcharge of 0.5. Transient accommodation tax, that's the TAT, and this is your also imposed on gross income derived from renting your home or a condo for vacation rentals. TAT is charged for all hotels and vacation rental properties at a rate of 10.25%. And on Kauai, there's also a 3% TAT tax. This 3% on Kauai, a significant portion of this revenue is dedicated to funding affordable housing initiatives and more. So this means that every vacation rental helps contribute to addressing Kauai's housing needs, infrastructure, and supporting the island's long-term sustainability. And again, just pointing out that things like these taxes and cleaning fees can be line items separately on the guest invoice and put on top of the nightly rate so that you're passing that on to the renter and it's not an pocket expense to you. However, it is always your responsibility to ensure that all these taxes are collected and then paid to the state and the county. Financing and down payment. Well, congratulations if you'll be purchasing your vacation rental with cash. That's amazing. But if not, be aware that most lenders will require a down payment of at least 20 and sometimes up to 30% down payment on a vacation rental, which is considered an investment property. For financing, you'll want to be pre-approved or pre-qualified prior to looking for a vacation rental. One, we need to know what you can really afford. Two, for many vacation rental properties now, because there are often renters in them, showings won't be scheduled for buyers that are not pre-approved. This is a very simple process to do, this pre-approval stage. It's not a deep dive. But if you have it and then you find a property you want to purchase and your offer is accepted, then you'll move into that approval stage with your broker and lender and do those deep dives during the escrow process. I am happy to provide you with the names of mortgage brokers that you can talk to. But again, working with a lender that is experienced in Hawaii condos is essential, as many mainland banks and lenders will not lend on Kauai condos. So we need to work with lenders. When you find that condo that you love, we need to work with a lender that we know we can get you that financing for. And just FYI, there are some stricter guidelines in place for properties that are considered condotels. And these are condominium complexes that operate with hotel-like services. They may have a front desk and more resort-like facilities, and traditional financing may not always be available in those condos. So you found a condo or home that you love. How do you take care of it? Well, one of your options is to use a vacation rental management company, and there are many on the island that will do everything for you. Manage the rental listings, the bookings, customer service issues, coordinating your cleanings, and then just issue a check for your revenues. Most of these vacation rental companies will charge anywhere from the 25 to 35% range depending on location. For the most part, you're mostly hands-off. I'm happy to introduce you to a few vacation rental management companies, and such as our own. Hawaii Life has a vacation rental management division. The other option is you can self-manage. With many services like Airbnb and VRBO out there, it's easy to get your property online as a vacation rental. And if you have the time and desire, you can do this yourself and manage your reservations and customer service and coordinate those cleanings. You do need to find a reliable cleaning person company and coordinate that with them, and then have in your Rolodex that on-call reliable handy person for fix-its or issues that might arrive, plumber, electrician. But by self-managing, you only pay the fees of the online booking platform charges. Vacation rental property taxes, On Kauai, short-term vacation rentals are taxed differently than primary residence. So when you're looking at vacation rentals and you see, or looking at condos, you might see one that has really low taxes and one that has really high taxes. The one with really high taxes is probably a vacation rental. They are considered businesses and so thus are taxed significantly higher. And on this page here, you'll see that in the Tier 1 properties up to $1 million, the tax is $11.30 per thousand of assessed value. Here is a vacation rental cash flow spreadsheet analysis. This is a very simple spreadsheet, only to provide a general guideline and is not a guarantee of any income or expenses. When you find condos here that you like and are interested in, I can put together a spreadsheet analysis like this for you to see if it's going to work for you. But this is an example of a $999,000 condo, 2-bed, 2-bath, 30% down, and a 30-year mortgage at 7%. These, again, simplified expenses. We're looking at a total with your property mortgage and insurance and HOAs and others of about $7,370 a month. If you have 70% occupancy at $350 a night, you're going to generate $7,350 a month. So break even-ish before any property management is considered. Again, this could be higher revenue if the occupancy rate is higher. It could be lower if the occupancy rate is lower. And of course, that nightly rate makes a difference. If you take property management fees out of that, let's assume 25%. That's an $1,800 charge per month. Your net income is $5,500, give or take, and your monthly difference, give or take, about $1,800. Now, keep in mind, though, that even though you have this monthly differential, you still have over $5,000 a month in this example that's helping subsidize the acquisition cost of your home. Basically, vacation renters are help covering your mortgage and your monthly nut to buy this property. So yes, as I said, I can create an analysis like this for you on any property that you might be interested in. So find your Kauai home. Let's do this. I specialize in helping buyers purchase homes and condos on Kauai. If you're hoping to move here within the next year or buy here within the next year, here are the 3 most important steps to take right away. 1, schedule a time to talk with me about your goals, your timeline, and what you're looking for in a Kauai property. Call or text me anytime, 808-346-7173, and we'll get the ball rolling. Then I can connect you, or you can find a Hawaii-based lender or mortgage broker, or one that you know will underwrite the property that you're interested in. I'm happy to introduce you to trusted local professionals. Again, getting pre-qualified early helps us understand your budget, and we need that so we can begin scheduling the showings on the homes or condos that best fit your needs. And then 3, plan your trip to Kauai. It's always fun to come here for a visit and shop for real estate and have some fun while you're here. But if you're not ready to travel yet, no problem. Virtual showings via FaceTime or me doing a walkthrough and videotaping it for you are also always available. The important thing is let's get this ball rolling. And again, any other questions that you might have, if I didn't answer them here, call me at 800-346-7173 or email me, nancyjanewilliams@hawaiilife.com.